just another episode. Yo. Get your popcorn ready.
What's up, everybody? It's Triple Beam. I am back once again with another video. Guys, and I'm going to make this one pretty quick. I just had to jump on this one for a minute because I just got through talking about Shedeur Sanders being a Pro Bowl selection for the AFC. Due to the fact that Drake May can't play, obviously he getting prepared for the Super Bowl, and it's a lot of injuries to quarterbacks in the AFC. Pat Mahomes and and Trevor Lawrence, he declined the opportunity to participate. So they selected Shedeur Sanders. Okay, and we talked about the up and downs that he has had to go through, falling so far in the draft, and seemingly not being supported by his head coach and some people within that Cleveland Browns organization. And nonetheless, after all of that, Kevin Stefanski is let go in Cleveland. And ironically, with him being let go, he gets a head coaching job by the Atlanta Falcons. How do you mess up, right? As a head coach, GM, I don't know who screwed up all of this stuff in Cleveland, and then you're the head coach, so I know a lot of it has to fall on you, but then you turn around and you get a coveted job in Atlanta, okay, after the whole debacle in Cleveland. It makes no sense to me how this guy was able to land that job and really did a horrible job managing that quarterback situation, managing that whole draft situation, and this Cleveland team was atrocious this past season. Let me just read this that I picked up online. The Cleveland Browns fired Stefanski on January 5th, 2026, after a 5-12 finish to the season and a second consecutive last place finish in the AFC North. General Manager Andrew Berry was retained and tasked with leading the search for a new head coach. And that's another thing. In my opinion, both of their ass would have had to go. Because, something wasn't right with this whole situation with Shedeur, Dylan Gabriel, with him even falling down so far in the draft, knowing that Cleveland needed a quarterback, and people had Shedeur being the top one or two quarterbacks that were supposed to be taken in the draft, slip all the way down to the 5th round. Okay, they draft Dylan Gabriel, which everybody said, okay, well, why in the world would you draft Dylan Gabriel over Shedeur Sanders? And it proved to be the absolute the wrong pick, because Dylan Gabriel is not better than Shedeur Sanders, and we all can see that. Okay. So what I can't understand is how is you able to mess up a franchise like the Cleveland Browns, mess up all these draft picks, okay, basically screw up that quarterback situation in Cleveland for so long, because you should have turned to Shedeur way before they did. You can go back and you can look at the preseason. Shedeur, he played well in the preseason. But you got to realize they pick you so low in the 5th round because they really don't have an incentive to play you early when they draft you that late. And this is what I see is the pattern. Most times it ain't about what you're able and what you're capable of doing on that football field. It's about what's that number beside that dollar sign next to your name. And I see that in most cases. You could be a bona fide scrub, but if some kind of way they draft you in the 1st round, they got to justify paying this, whoever that may be, they got to justify paying you 20, 25, 35, 40 million dollars in that first year. So you're going to play right away. That's why they say it's no more waiting and learning and sitting back. Just like, for instance, if the Raiders with the first pick this year, if they mess around and they go and draft Mendoza, you can rest assured Mendoza is starting on week 1. Same way with Cam Ward in Tennessee. You're going to start on week 1 because nobody's going to pay you $40 million to sit on the bench. And that's just the reality of it. So the higher your draft status, the more likely you're going to play. I knew when Shedeur dropped to the 5th round, I knew that they were going to try not to play him. But I knew at some point, based on their roster and what they had at the quarterback position, that they didn't have any other choice but to play him. Okay, and now you wasting money because you went out and you got Joe Flacco, who didn't pan out. Then you went out and you signed Dylan Gabriel ahead of Shedeur Sanders, who are going to be getting paid more in that first year and in that second year in his rookie contract. Then you're going to be paying Shedeur Sanders to sit on the bench. And maybe that was the strategy. Okay, to get somebody like Shedeur and get him locked in on a rookie deal, okay, where you don't have to pay him that much money and you can, but he'd still be your starting quarterback. So maybe that was a strategy. I don't know, but it really made no sense to me. I could not understand why it was so much tension in the building about whether or not you should play this man. But nonetheless, with Kevin Stefanski as the head coach, losing his job in Cleveland after really not doing much at all, 2 consecutive last place finishes in the AFC North, okay? And then you did such a bad job that you landed another good job as the Atlanta Falcons head coach. Please, somebody make it make sense, man. Let me know what you think about this. Put it in the comments, guys. Hit the like button, hit the share button, and hit the follow button on your way out. Man, until next time, Triple B, I am out.
That's a motherfucking no-no. It's just another episode. Get your popcorn ready.